If you knew this was the only life right now you would ever get just this one time, would you give it everything you had in this lifetime? Whether that's for yourself or your children or for someone you truly love. A few years ago, when my mother unexpectedly passed away, it just didn't seem real. Like it felt like a nightmare that I just couldn't wake up from. For anyone who has experienced losing someone very close to them, I know you feel where I'm coming from. It's unreal, like no warning, right? Somebody you love, somebody you couldn't imagine life without, in an instant could just be gone like that and never return. It sounds harsh, but that's the reality of it, right? Going through something traumatic as that definitely does something to you internally. I felt empty, like I felt completely numb. But as time went on and I started to learn how to cope with the pain, I became very curious and highly interested in the afterlife. I'm here to share valuable information that could be instantly applied to your life right now. I go by the name Elohim 124, and I've invested countless hours. I mean, countless hours going down rabbit holes and finding my way up out of those, which led me to learning new information, discovering new information, and coming across some easy to apply content that I'm excited to share here shortly. Now, everything I've come across up to this point led me to the truth that I was obsessively looking for regarding the afterlife. And that truth is nobody knows. I say that sarcastically, right? But with truth behind it. Because really, nobody truly knows what's next. Now, there have been people who claim to know something that is literally unknown. But just hearing myself say that, right, doesn't even sound right. Seriously, for all we know, this could be our only life ever. Of course, there's wishful thinking and being hopeful and going by what others before us have told us. But then again, someone who says something is the truth, right, but doesn't provide concrete evidence should always be questioned. And this just isn't about the afterlife. It's about life in general. There will be no more just believing what was told to us. No more, this is how we were raised, so we're just going to go along with it. Nah, the era we're currently in is the information age. Information can be accessed at any time from almost anywhere. So do your own research, right? And you'll know what truly resonates with you. But what we do know for a fact, like 1000%, is we're here now. It's like we made it to the championship game and we don't know if we'll make it back here or not. So why not give it everything we got? Like, we're not here just to watch and wait for this life to pass by. Man, hell nah. We're not here to be spectators, man. We're here to be spectacular. Whatever you're experiencing in life right now, just know you're here for a reason. We're here for a reason. And that reason is to do remarkable things. Now, I genuinely believe we're here to do remarkable things, right? It's because we're products of our environment. And our environment is a remarkable place, Earth. Like, this is where life exists, and it's the only place life is known to exist. There's all these other planets in the universe, and Earth is the only one known to support life. I don't know if you believe in God or a higher power, but the way Earth is positioned in the universe for life to even exist is really remarkable and definitely not by chance. Now, this is significantly important because it gives us a sense of how rare and valuable life actually is. Now, in the past, I would overlook stuff like this, right? But being the fact that we're products of our environment and our environment is something special, let me quickly show you just how uniquely Earth is positioned in the universe, right? Now, as I draw the sun, I also draw each pocket that the planets are positioned in, right? So here we go with that. So let's draw these pockets, right? Now, so that brings us to Earth, okay? Now, Earth, let's write that out, Earth, which is positioned between Venus and Mars, right? Now, you would think at least one of the two closest planets to Earth could support life, right? Or at least that's what I was thinking, right? So we'll start with Venus, right? Since it's closer to the sun. Okay, now Venus does have a rocky surface like Earth, basically land to support human activity, right? But Venus also has an average surface temperature of 867 degrees. Damn! Pretty sure that's hotter than hell, man, right? So just off that rip, it's too hot, okay? Now that Now let's go to Mars, right? Now, Mars, which has a significant amount of water, that's a key component for life, right? Now, Mars also has a rocky surface like Earth as well. But the problem is, water freezes at only 32 degrees. Now, I say only because Mars' average surface temperature is negative 80 degrees. What? Well, that's colder than Antarctica gets, man. Ain't nobody living there. So just right there also, that's too cold. Okay. So now that brings us to Earth, okay, which is positioned at a distance from the sun that is neither too hot nor too cold. Now, Earth, which has an average surface temperature of 59 degrees, okay, so this allows for liquid water to exist. So the position on Earth is just right. Now, one of the cool dynamics about life is a lot of things are interconnected, right? And one of the most, if not the most critical interconnected relationship is the Earth and the sun. Now, the sun is essential for life on Earth. It provides nearly all the energy to Earth, which includes light and heat, of course. But the sun also helps plants produce food and oxygen. Now, that process is called photosynthesis. So, with photosynthesis, that's how our fruits and vegetables are ultimately produced, okay? And as a bonus, this process releases oxygen into the air, which we need to breathe, of course. So, shout out to the sun, man. One of the most underappreciated stars we'll ever know. Now, let's go back to this illustration just real quick, right? So, this dotted line here, right, represents a planet's axis, which is an imaginary line that goes through each planet from top to bottom, right? And the planet rotates on it. So the fact that Earth spins on its axis, completing a full 360 rotation every 24 hours, which is how we have 24 hours in a day, is mind blowing. But it's doing all this, right, while completing a lap around the sun every 365 days, which is how we track a year. It's crazy. And it's doing all this in mid-air. Now, if that isn't remarkable, then I don't know what is. But enough of this scientific talk, right? Let's get into actual life on Earth, all right? Now, just a few moments ago, I mentioned a lot of things in life are interconnected, right? Well, another critically important relationship is our inner world and our outer world, okay? So you have an internal world that nobody but you can experience. Then you also have an external world that you also experience, but it's with everyone else, right? So the interaction between both worlds make life so dynamic. Each individual's internal world shapes how they interact and perceive the external world. Okay, so as human beings, we get to navigate from the inner world to the outer world. That makes life so unique. Now, so as we dive into the inner world right now, okay, we'll begin with how we even know that we exist, right? And the starting point of the inner world is consciousness and awareness. So this is another dynamic duo that is deeply interconnected. So consciousness gives us the ability to experience life, right? While awareness gives us the ability to understand that we're experiencing life. When we wake up in the morning, right? That's when consciousness gets turned on. Okay. So if consciousness is us being awake, then awareness would be us knowing we're awake, right? So let's say consciousness is the TV turned on, okay? And then awareness is knowing something's on the TV screen, right? And what's on the TV screen is thoughts and emotions. So let's start with thoughts, okay? Which heavily includes that voice we hear inside our head, okay? Now, you know what I'm talking about, right? Now, the mind, which is responsible for that voice we hear in our head, okay? The mind. So the mind is responsible for thoughts. Now, a thought can include an entire range of mental content from ideas to suggestions, memories to imagery, judgments to questions. It's all produced by thinking or occurring suddenly in the mind. Okay. So when that constant mental talk is going on inside our head, it can be very, very tricky. What I mean is you can make it talk. So go ahead right now and say hello 3 times in your head, screaming if you have to, inside your head. Then at times it can talk on its own. that voice inside our heads can get out of hand sometimes. Reminds me of a cousin at a cookout, right? Who's had one too many, just non-stop talking. Hard to get away from it, right? But instead of being in my face, this cousin's in my head, so I really can't get away from it. Now, whatever thoughts someone participates in, whatever thoughts they entertain, they give it energy. They give it life. So let's use Noah as an example, right? So there's Noah right here. Let's use Noah. Big dog Noah. What's up now? So Noah has been wanting to make a change in his life, right? Now he knows down deep he can do better, and he wants to do better by becoming more productive and managing his time and energy more wisely, right? But constantly feeds into what the mind is telling him, meaning he participates in every single thought. Okay. Now, this can be a sign of overthinking, which can lead to mental exhaustion. Okay. That's when someone drains themselves mentally. When Noah participates in every single thought, he's overthinking. Now, he's mentally drained. Now, this mental chatter, now, let's say this mental chatter is filled with negative, hurtful thoughts like, my life will never get better. My life will never get better. Or there's no point of trying, right? There's no point of trying. Now, these type of thoughts, when participated in, okay, are usually followed by an emotion, okay? Now, emotions get dropped off inside the heart, right? So, emotions get dropped off inside the heart, okay? The heart is a very, very important area. It's the center of our inner world, which controls our energy flow, right? So this is where we feel, this is where our emotional experiences come alive, right? And the feeling Noah would be currently experiencing from these thoughts is the emotion hopelessness, okay? Hopelessness. Now, hopelessness closes the heart's energy flow, okay? So here's the heart. The emotion hopelessness closes the heart's energy flow, which then leads to a lack of energy throughout the body, right? It's like he's caged in now. So now Noah, who's experiencing this, doesn't feel the urge to do anything in the outer world. So not only does he experience mental exhaustion from overthinking, right? He's also experiencing physical exhaustion from feeling the emotion hopelessness in the heart, which then spreads throughout the body, causing a lack of energy, which then results a lack of production in Noah's life. Everything is connected, right? Interconnected. Remember that. One of the most popular universal laws is the law of attraction. The law of attraction states that vibrations of the same frequency attract each other. Basically, whatever kind of energy dominates our experience in the inner world, then our outer world will then attract energy and experiences that match that. Like attracts like. So to carry on with the example, right? Noah's inner world was dominated by him overthinking and feeling hopeless. Okay. So then his outer world would now attract that energy and experiences that match that. So those thoughts he put himself into was followed by an emotion. Now that emotion led to a feeling that caused the heart's energy flow to close, which then caused drainage throughout the body. Okay. And now Noah's outer world is experiencing everything from the inner world. Okay. So the inner world, which consists of someone's thoughts and emotions, right, equals someone's reality in the outer world. So with that, we'll put it right here. Thoughts plus emotions equals reality, right? Now, a person that's going through what Noah is experiencing often turns to drugs and alcohol as a form of self-medication to cope with everything, right? I've been down that road, Noah. Trust me, I know the feeling. I couldn't resist that. But how to avoid all this? We shall activate one of our built-in superpowers. That's simple. Superpowers, yeah, superpowers. I'm telling you, life is amazing, man. So now you know about awareness, right? But this superpower you possess, we all possess, is awareness on steroids. Not literally, but okay. It's called meta awareness. Meta awareness is the ability to be aware that you are watching the mind have a thought or thoughts or watch a feeling you are experiencing. Like it's a higher order of awareness that allows us to be the one who observes the activity in our inner world instead of being the one who participates in it. So this superpower prevents us from being completely swept away by what we're experiencing internally, which then creates space for more conscious responses, right? So I have to add this very important information just real quick. Now, every thought inside the mind is not a thought you produced consciously. Please remember that. We'll get into all that next episode when we do a deep dive into the mind, but just keep that in mind. Now, to help activate meta awareness, right? Let's go back to Noah. Okay. So now remember, he was overthinking and participating in every thought the mind produced, which led to him experiencing and feeling the emotion hopelessness, right? So now with meta awareness activated, okay, here we go. Boom. Watcher is activated. Okay. So now he's able to watch the thought instead of participating in it. So instead of being in the screen, he's overlooking the screen. See, once we're able to see a thought, that means we're outside of the thought, meaning we're not immersed in it. So in that moment, we have the ability to decide what we want to give our attention to. This allows us to choose our next action instead of reacting impulsively. So now Noah is watching the mind produce the thought of my life will never get better, right? He sees it, he doesn't judge it, and he doesn't participate in it. He just watches it. Now that he didn't put any energy into the thought, Noah realizes he's in control of what he participates in, right? So that's when he produces a conscious thought of, I'm in control. I'm in control, right? So now he has the ability to either observe a thought or participate in a thought. Totally his choice. So no more overthinking for Noah, okay? We'll take that off my dog, Noah. No more overthinking, right? So now that he's participating in the thought, I'm in control, and he puts energy into it, this leads to Noah experiencing the emotion of joy and happiness, right? He's experiencing joy and happiness. And now the heart is open and he's feeling good. He's in control. So as we remove this, right? Remove all of this because now Noah's in control of this. That being said, now the energy is able to flow. And now that it's flowing throughout the body, which then gives him the best chance to get the results he wants, right? Now, if someone happens to forget about this special ability during their daily life, don't even trip. It's perfectly normal. We just have to keep practicing so it stays activated more frequently. Okay. Now, how to easily regain access at any time, just say hello 3 times in your head, just like you did at the start of this exercise. Now, what this does is put us back in the seat of meta awareness. Okay. So now we regain power of understanding that we are the one watching the thought or thoughts as they appear in the mind. Okay. Now, how someone can easily determine which thoughts they participate in or which thoughts they give energy. Okay. Just ask this simple question. Is this thought hurtful or helpful? Now, in Noah's case, by helpful would be, does this thought move the needle in my favor? Like if I put energy into this thought, does it help me improve in life? Now, when I say hurtful, I'm saying a thought that would provoke an emotion that will lead to someone feeling anxiety, anger, hopeless, right? Depression. A hurtful thought would be, I'm not good enough, or this one, my life will never get better. And to be completely honest, right? Those thoughts are simply just not true. Now, I totally understand some days we just don't got it, right? Things just isn't going right. In those moments, though, let's remember, nothing is permanent, okay? Which reminds me of another universal law, which is the law of rhythm, which is basically stating that change is a part of life, right? So winter changes into spring, then spring changes into the summer, right? Day turns into night, then night goes back to the day again. Okay. These expressions of rhythm have been going on since the beginning of time, and each stage has a different purpose. Okay. The ebbs and flows, right? Basically the highs and not even the lows, but the challenges. Every challenge presents a chance to either grow and evolve or remain captive. See, once you've decided to evolve, you decided you're going to outgrow whatever the challenge was, and now you're bigger than your challenge. I've learned to welcome every human experience, but I also know I'm in control of what I want to fully participate in, right? So let's say a thought creeps through, right? We give it energy due to an argument or something that causes the emotion anger to arrive. Okay. The heart starts to heat up. We feel it now all through the body, right? We'll feel the effects. We'll experience a turbulent like feeling as if we're on a plane, right? But by remaining in the seat of meta awareness, we're able to watch the feeling instead of being swept away. So without meta awareness activated, someone would say, I'm angry. But with it activated, their response would be, I feel angry. Major difference, right? Someone feeling angry instead of being angry gives them the opportunity to watch the feeling. Now, this creates space between them and the emotion, okay? Which then allows them to choose a response that benefits the energy inside their inner world. So now we're overcoming the challenge of letting an emotion completely sweep us away. The moment we feel our energy change inside, that's the sign to let go and activate meta awareness, okay? Let whatever feeling it is run its course. Just watch it. Just watch it. It will pass. It goes in and out of us like wind passing by. Now, one last tip of this episode that helps me a lot, right? When I notice myself attached to a thought or a feeling, I ask myself, who is it that is attached to that thought? Once I understand I'm not the attachment, but instead the one who is attached, that's when a space is created and I notice a separation from the attachment. Then I drift back up into this seat of meta awareness, and now I feel less weight from carrying this attachment. So just remember, you are in control of your inner world. Nobody else has that. Now, with this information available, we're able to save time, not letting thoughts or emotions take us on a ride that we know isn't going to lead to anything productive. Okay, if this episode was helpful in any way, give it a thumbs up and subscribe to the channel. Now, next episode, we'll do a deep dive into the mind. There, during our journey, we'll be activating another superpower. I can't wait, so stay tuned. Until then, remember, you are the master of your inner world. You are the one in control. I'll end this with a song called The One, written by yours truly. Enjoy.
There's some work to be done before I retire. Gotta kill the old me because I know it's required. Focus on the new me and I am truly inspired. Before this change can occur, gotta have a burning desire. Let it burn like a fire, like you next to the sun. You feel you destined for blessings, well now your quest has begun. Ain't no question, my best is still yet to come. Ain't no question, I feel as though I'm the one. I collided with a torpedo. It alleviated my ego. Now my spirit strong as a hero. Feel like I'm the one, like I'm Neo. I collided with a torpedo. It alleviated my ego. Now my spirit strong as a hero. Feel like I'm the one, like I'm Neo. I was looking at my life like I don't love these conditions. Wanted to make a change, but I just wasn't committed. The universe let it rain. There was no sun in my vision. I was smothered by pain. The day my mother transitioned, felt like I collided with a torpedo. To be honest, my soul was conquered. Man, I was torn, but then I promised that she'll be honored. So through the storm, I persevere. At that moment there, Elohim was born. So while I'm on this earth, I'll reach levels that's godlike. Motivated by my past, all them times that I lost sight. I'm so focused, I won't crash. Put that on my mom's life. For them times when it get cloudy, I bought me some fog lights. Just know you'll be alright if you going through it. The universe will test you just to see if you show improvement. Once you pass that test, then you'll see blessings start flowing to you. Blessings start over